Okay, so I really wanted to go out to the hive today, but it's way too windy. So I just want to talk about the Mite Way Quick Strips that we use for our Varroa Mite treatment. If you followed my other videos, we noticed a couple weeks ago that we had Varroa Mites, and I wanted something pretty easy and straightforward for our treatment. So I did a lot of research, went on to the Healthy Honeybee Coalition's website, which I will link, and they have a really good decision tree. And so there's an interactive one and a PDF one. So both are really, really helpful. It kind of gives you a breakdown of what season you're in. And when I say seasons, for bees, we're talking population increase, where your queen is actively laying and you have brood, versus putting a honey super on, versus your population decrease, which is when it's usually getting cold outside. And so depending on what season, what phase you're in, is when you can use different treatment modalities for your Varroa mites. We are in our population increase phase. Good time not to check on the bees because it is so windy. So we're in our population increase phase, which means, like I said, that the queen is actively laying. And you can be limited in what treatment modalities that you use. So in that decision tree, it's really helpful because it will tell you, you're in this phase, you can use this and you cannot use this. So we went with the Mite Way Quick Strips. It was appropriate for really any phase. This is one of the treatment modalities that you can use when there's a honey super on. So that's the box on top of your beehives where the bees end up storing their honey, and that's what you take to harvest your honey. So this is one of the treatment modalities that you can use when your honey supers are on. And we're really close to putting honey supers on, and so I didn't want to risk it. And we also already have frames full of honey in our other boxes because we're two boxes high already, and so I just didn't want to risk it putting some sort of chemical on the hives that had a risk if we used one of the other chemicals. So there are a ton. So there's organic and non-organic and chemical versus essential oils, and there's all different options. And so we went with the Mite Way Quick Strips, which is a formic acid. It is safe to use, and that's why you're able to put it on whenever you have your honey supers on, and so there's no risk of that contaminating and being harmful for the honey and for us to ingest. So I chose that for that reason. Also, the ease of it and the cost. So I went on Amazon because my local bee store was out, and I got a 10 pack for $79-$80. So that was pretty reasonable. I didn't need any other equipment other than your bee suit, your goggles or protective eyewear, and your acid resistant gloves. And so other treatment modalities, you do have to get other equipment, and so this was pretty easy and straightforward. You just buy the equipment, and then you have the gloves and the protective eyewear, and so that was pretty straightforward. The limitation to this, had our mites been in the summertime, we would have been limited in using this, especially living in Texas. 50 to 85 degrees Fahrenheit is when you can use this product, and for us in Texas, it gets above 85 quite often. And so when you first put on the treatment, it has to be within that parameter, within 50 to 85 degrees. So had this happened in the summer, we would have had to have used something else because it gets way too hot here. So that was good timing that it was in the spring. The other thing that you can do for this treatment is you can choose an option 1, which is a 7-day treatment. Option 2 is a 21-day treatment. So the option 1 is, like I said, the 7-day treatment. You use 2 pads and you kind of stagger them in between your boxes. And option 2, you only use 1 pad, and you put the first pad on in the middle for 7 days, and the second pad you do it at the 7-day mark, and you do for 14 more days. This is what the pads look like. So I'm not going to get them out because I don't want to waste. But they're in like a metallic cover, and then the pad is gel, and it has a like wax layer on top. You don't take that little paper off. You keep the paper on, and that's over the gel. And yeah, so pretty straightforward. Just keep in mind when you can use this, make sure that you're in the temperature parameters. You use your protective eyewear and your gloves along with your bee suit. And what else? Yeah, pretty straightforward. That's why they call it Mite Way Quick Strips. Quick, easy for your novice beekeepers and probably for your professional beekeepers. This worked perfectly for us. Hello, so I'm finally making it out to the hives. It's Easter Sunday. I just want to check on them and see how they've done since I did the Mite Way Quick Strips. So yeah, let's see how they look. Okay, peek inside my hive. So I just took, this is the bottom box. So you can see that's the bottom box. I have the top box over here. I just pulled that off, and that weighed a lot, guys. So you can see the bees, the worker bees doing their thing. Get a little closer. Do you see those white larva looking things, worm looking things? That's brood, and they're trying their best to cover them up. So they made their cells in between the hive boxes. So these unfortunately got pulled apart whenever I just opened the box. They need to be down there in the hives, but for some reason you see that? That's a little baby bee. So they're trying to now like move them and protect them. Last time when I was in here, there were Varroa Mites clearly on those. See how they're like carrying it? Isn't that amazing? Honestly, I don't know what they're gonna do with that. So the bees look really good though. Last time I also was able to see mites on my bees' bodies, but I'm not really seeing any right now. So we have an active queen. There's larva. Can't see it over here. I see it, but I don't know if y'all can see it. Where is it? Oh, right there. Down in there, there's like little larva too. So they're doing good in here. I'm gonna put back the top.